Good morning, class 10th. Today we are going to continue the same chapter in history, that is nationalism in India. And in the previous video we had discussed about the non-cooperation movement, and today we will start from the topic that is achievement of the non-cooperation movement. I had told you that because of the Chauri Chaura incident which happened in Gorakhpur, Uttar Pradesh, where 22 policemen were burnt alive by the angry mob, in that particular event, what happened? It brought to an end to the non-cooperation movement because Gandhiji was very much in grief after that incident, because he realized that the Indians were not yet ready for a non-violent movement. So the Satyagrahis needed to be trained before such a big mass movement. So Gandhiji called off the movement, and it led to a sort of great grief among the Indians, because to stop such a movement for a small incident, that was not right according to the many of the Indians, but according to Gandhiji it was right. Okay, so the movement happened, but the movement had some good results as well. The non-cooperation movement has its achievements. What are those achievements? Now we will discuss about that. The movement contributed to the awakening of the masses to the economic problem and the political cause. देखिए, सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम ये थी कि इंडिया was suffering from economic losses. Most of the wealth of India was going to London. That is why the Britishers were extracting each and everything from India. As a result, India was suffering from great economic loss. Ordinary people, men and women, rich and poor, showed willingness and ability to endure hardships and punishments. सबसे बड़ी बात क्या हुई non-cooperation movement में कि every section of the society participated equally with great enthusiasm. Okay, there was also an increasing recognition of social evils like untouchability and drinking. Untouchability and drinking जैसे social evils के खिलाफ भी लोग खड़े हुए, ठीक। और मूवमेंट एक मास मूवमेंट तभी बन पाए जब अनटचेबल्स, चाहे वो किसी भी if they belong to any section of the society, they equally participated in this movement. This was the main achievement of this movement, because every section of society equally participated in the movement. People achieved a new sense of confidence. They achieved a new sense of confidence. They realized that if they are united, they could defeat the Britishers. Earlier, the Britishers were seen to be undefeated. They could not be defeated. But because of this movement, it was a sense of collective identity among people, and they felt that it is not impossible to throw out the Britishers from Indian soil. Okay. Now, the next movement that we will be going to discuss, that is civil disobedience movement. That is Savinay Avidya movement. Okay. Civil disobedience movement. उर्दू में इसको बोलते हैं सिविल लाफरमानी, ठीक है। लाफरमानी का मतलब क्या होता है? बात ना मानना, ठीक है। जो कानून ब्रिटिशर्स द्वारा लॉन्च किए गए थे उनको एक्सेप्ट ना करना, उनके अनुसार वर्क ना करना। तो I told you that the calling off of the non-cooperation movement was seen as a great grief. Many of the members of the Congress didn't accept this, because they participated in the non-cooperation movement with full enthusiasm. So they were not yet ready to accept such type of decision by Gandhiji. Okay, so some of the members of the Congress decided to leave the Congress and form a new party, because there was a great disappointment, disillusionment among them. They could not see that what is the real purpose of Gandhiji. What did he want? Why did he not? You can say that he was not able to continue the movement. Why he was not able to continue the movement? Why did he call off the movement? They were in a confusion, in a sort of confusion. Within the Congress, leaders were now tired of mass struggle and wanted to participate in the election to the provincial councils that had been set up by the Government of India Act 1990. Before the non-cooperation movement, the idea was adopted that they would not participate in the council elections. Now, many of the members of the Congress wanted to participate in the provincial elections according to the Government of India Act 1990. Okay, they felt that it is important to oppose British policies within the councils. They thought that to oppose the British policies, to oppose the British laws, it is impossible without being a part of the council. If some of the Indian members are the part of the council, they could easily oppose the British policies. Okay. So some of the members like C.R. Das, Chittaranjan Das and Motilal Nehru, they were also the member of Congress. Both these members decided to form a separate party which was separate from Congress. They resigned from the Congress and formed a new party. That party was known as Swaraj Party. Swaraj Party in 1923. Just after 1 year of calling off of the non-cooperation movement. तो non-cooperation movement जैसे ही call off हो उसके 1 साल बाद इन्होंने new party form कर ली, that is Swaraj Party. Okay. But the younger leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose demanded complete independence. अब जवाहरलाल नेहरू और सुभाष चंद्र बोस जैसे जो यंग लीडर्स थे वो तुरंत ही दूसरी दिशा में चलने लगे और उन्होंने कंप्लीट इंडिपेंडेंस का नारा दिया. In such a situation, two factors again shaped Indian politics. First was the worldwide economic depression. It brought down the agricultural prices to half from 1926. It was a hard blow to the already impoverished peasantry, which has burdened with high taxes and rates. देखिए सबसे बड़ी दिक्कत क्या थी कि एग्रीकल्चर डिप्रेशन आया था. आफ्टर द फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वॉर धीमे धीमे एग्रीकल्चर प्राइसेस बहुत ज़्यादा गिरने लगे. तो इंडियन मार्केट्स में एग्रीकल्चर प्राइसेस बहुत ज़्यादा गिरे थे और इसका रिजल्ट ये हुआ था कि जो पीजेंट्स ऑलरेडी टैक्सेस के बर्डन में थे उन पीजेंट्स को और ज़्यादा धक्का लगा. हाफ हो गए एग्रीकल्चरल प्राइसेस और एग्रीकल्चरल प्राइसेस उन्हें वैसे ही पहले बहुत कम मिलते थे तो इसकी वजह से उनके प्राइसेस हाफ होने की वजह से और उन्हें चोट पहुँची. ठीक. The government refused to decrease its own rates of taxation, so the peasants were put in a situation where they had to pay taxes, rents and debts, while their income saw a downward trend. Income उनकी कम हो गई. ठीक. peasants जो थे पूरी तरीके से rents और debts में बहुत ज़्यादा उन्होंने loans ले रखे थे money lenders से और doing various type of commercial farming. So they were in the debt of various type of taxes. They had to pay the taxes. They had to pay the revenue to the Britishers. Such type of situation was there for the peasants. Okay. By 1930, the countryside was in a great situation. Now, अब Britishers ने एक बहुत ही violent step उठा लिया. 1927 में उन्होंने एक कमीशन लॉन्च कर दिया और इंडिया में कमीशन भेज दिया. उस टाइम की टोरी गवर्नमेंट थी, उसने एक न्यू कमीशन अपॉइंट किया. उसका नाम था साइमन कमीशन. The new commission was Simon Commission, and it was appointed in 1927 by the Tory government. It is very important topic. It could come in your board examinations. Okay, Simon Commission. It is asked many times. Okay. So it was again this background. Tory government in Britain constituted the Statutory Commission under Sir John Simon in November 1927. The commission, popularly known as Simon Commission, had to inquire into the functioning of 1919 Act and suggested further reforms. So, why it was Simon Commission was appointed? It was appointed to do some of the constitutional changes which was implemented in the Government of India Act 1990. Okay, this commission had 7 members. What was the problem behind this commission? This commission consisted of 7 members and neither of them was Indian. कोई भी उसमें से member Indian नहीं था. The imperialists hoped that it would check the rising tide of the national movement. अब ब्रिटिशर्स क्या होप कर रहे थे कि जो नेशनल मूवमेंट बहुत ज़्यादा राइज कर रहा है उसको हम किसी तरीके से स्टॉप कर पाएंगे, स्टेबल कर पाएंगे, उसको स्थिर कर पाएंगे. However, their hopes were believed. लेकिन उनकी होप्स फुलफिल नहीं हो पाए क्योंकि नेशनल मूवमेंट और ज़्यादा प्रखर हो गया उसके बाद. When a Simon Commission arrived in India, it was greeted with the slogans "Go back, Simon." When Simon Commission arrived in India, it was greeted with the slogan "Go back, Simon." In 1928, it arrived at Lahore station, where it was greeted with the slogan "Go back, Simon." And that procession was led by a leader of Ghadar party, and that leader was known as the Punjab Kesari, that is Lala Lajpat Rai. Lala Lajpat Rai had a procession to oppose the Simon Commission. Lathi charge became a common in Indian nationalist. Senior leaders were not spared. The worst incident occurred in Lahore, where Lala Lajpat Rai was leading an anti-Simon rally. He was mercilessly lathi charged, which resulted in his death on 17th November 1928. 17th November 1928, Lala Lajpat Rai died because of the lathi charge which was committed on him on the Lahore railway station, where he was leading a procession against the Simon Commission. He was killed by the lathi charge of two of the superintendent of the police. One was deputy and one was senior superintendent of police. The senior superintendent of police was Scott and the deputy superintendent of police was Saunders. Both of them had a lathi charge on Lala Lajpat Rai, because of which he died. Okay, on 17th November 1928. His death on account of this injury triggered public anger. Lala Lajpat Rai was a public figure at that time. He was a national leader, and his death proved to be very decisive among especially the younger people, younger generations. Like you can have the names of Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Rajguru, Chandrasekhar Azad. Such type of leaders were very angry because they were very connected to Lala Lajpat Rai, because all of them belong to the same state. Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Rajguru, some of the members belong to the HSRA party, and that party was supported by Lala Lajpat Rai. So Lala Lajpat Rai, when Lala Lajpat Rai was died, at that time they were very angry. They wanted to take a revenge of this. They wanted to take the revenge. As a result, they killed Saunders. All of you are aware of the fact, you had watched in the movie as well, that after the death of the Lala Lajpat Rai, Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev and Rajguru took the revenge and killed the deputy superintendent of police, Saunders. Okay. What happened in the Madras section now? पूर्ण स्वराज as its goal in Madras section 1927. तो कांग्रेस ने डिक्लेयर किया पूर्ण स्वराज as its goal, total independence of पूर्ण स्वराज. That was the goal of the Congress party at the Madras session in 1927. Total independence. Because earlier the Congress party had a thought that they wanted to attain the dominion status. Earlier they wanted to attain the dominion status, but the things changed. The things changed after the appointment of the Simon Commission. The Simon Commission challenged the Indians that they could not even frame a constitution for them. They could not even draft a constitution for them. They had no future without the help of the Britishers. So it was a challenge which was put forward to the Congress. So the Congress now changed its mindset and started believing in the idea of total independence. They wanted total independence, Purna Swaraj. Okay. But the resolution was toned down due to a demand for the dominion status in Calcutta section 1928. देखिए, बहुत सारे मद्रास सेशन, बहुत सारे मेंबर्स ने टोटल इंडिपेंडेंस की मांग तो की, लेकिन कुछ कैलकाटा सेशन तक इसको टाल दिया गया. फिर 1928 में फिर डोमिनियन स्टेटस की मांग कर दी. ठीक. It was assured that the government would fulfill within a year. अब साइमन कमीशन से होप थी लोगों को, कुछ इंडियंस को भी होप थी, खासकर कांग्रेस के कुछ लीडर्स को होप थी कि साइमन कमीशन उनको कुछ अधिकार देगा, डोमिनियन स्टेटस देगा. लेकिन साइमन कमीशन बिल्कुल इंडियंस को मेंबर ही नहीं बनाया. ठीक है, जो एक बहुत तरीके से कह सकते हैं कि एक स्लैब था फेस पे इंडियंस. ठीक. In December 1929, on the banks of the river Ravi, the ट्राइकलर फ्लैग ऑफ द इंडियन इंडिपेंडेंस वाज अनफर्ल्ड। अब जब साइमन कमीशन फेल हो गया, तो साइमन कमीशन के फेल होने के बाद कांग्रेस लीडर्स पूरी तरीके से रिजेंट करना चाहते थे, पूरी तरीके से अपोज करना चाहते थे ब्रिटिशर्स को। उन्होंने सीधे सीधे एक खुली चुनौती दे दी ब्रिटिशर्स को, और उन्होंने लाहौर में 1929 में सेशन हुआ लाहौर में, रावी नदी के किनारे, और रावी नदी के किनारे जो सेशन हुआ उसमें पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू उसके हेड थे, और उन्होंने वहां पर ट्राई कलर इंडिया का फहरा दिया, और उस पर उन्होंने सीधे नारा दे दिया टोटल इंडिपेंडेंस। जो नारा अभी तक सिर्फ बातों में चल रहा था, वो नारा उन्होंने 1929 कांग्रेस सेशन में खुलेआम दे दिया। ठीक है, वी वांट टोटल इंडिपेंडेंस, पूर्ण स्वराज, उससे कम कुछ भी कबूल नहीं है। The Lahore Congress 1929 formalized a demand for Purna Swaraj. The Lahore Congress under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru also decided to celebrate 26 January 1930 as the Independence Day. अब आप लोगों को ये क्वेश्चन अराइज होता होगा कि 26 जनवरी का इतना ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंस क्यों है? In the previous class we had studied the chapter Constitutional Design. In that particular chapter I had told you that Indian Constitution was adopted on 26 November 1949, but it was enforced on 26 January 1950. What was the reason? The reason was as simple as that, because in the Lahore session of Congress in 1929 it was adopted as that 26 January 1930, from 26 January 1930 till the independence of the country, the 26 January would be celebrated as the Independence Day of India, because on that particular day the tricolor of India was hoisted. Okay, it was unfurled. On the appointed date, people all over the country took the pledge for complete independence. Dominant status with the Commonwealth was no longer acceptable. अब डोमिनेंट स्टेटस की जो डिमांड थी वो पूरी तरीके से खारिज कर दी। दे वांटेड कंप्लीट प्योर इंडिपेंडेंस। वी बिलीव दैट इट इज इनएलिएनेबल राइट ऑफ द इंडियन पीपल एज ऑफ एनी अदर पीपल टू हैव फ्रीडम एंड एंजॉय द फ्रूट्स ऑफ देयर टॉयल एंड हैव द नेसेसिटीज ऑफ लाइफ। इट इज द राइट ऑफ ईच एंड एवरी इंडिविजुअल born on this planet to have the freedom, access things they like, okay, so that they may have full opportunities of growth. We also believe that if any government deprives the people of these rights and oppress them, the people have a further right to alter it and to abolish it. If any government tries to take these rights of any individual, that individual has got the right to oppose and alter such type of government. Okay, now we will talk about the Salt March. It was also a very important event in the Indian history, Salt March, because it was the first type of movement which was launched on a individual basis. Earlier it is sometime asked in the board examination that what is the difference between the civil disobedience movement and the non-cooperation movement. Thus, easy and simple difference is that the non-cooperation movement was a movement which was launched on a broad-based basis. It was launched on a mass. It was launched as a mass struggle. It was asked by Gandhiji that every individual of Indian continent should adopt such type of methods, and they have to join this movement. Okay. But in the civil disobedience movement, the things were different. Gandhiji in the civil disobedience movement launched a movement on individual basis. He himself wanted to oppose the salt law which was imposed by the Britishers. Okay? The Mahatma Gandhi found that salt was a powerful symbol that could unite the nation. On 31st January 1930, he sent a letter to Lord Irwin. Now, on 31st January 1930, Gandhiji wrote a letter to then the Viceroy of India, Lord Irwin, and asked and he had given a proposal and he had asked for 11 demands. The 11 demands for that. Some of the demands were reduction of land revenue. The first and the foremost demand was the reduction of land revenue, imposition of tariff on foreign cloth. Imposition of tariff on foreign cloth. Why the foreign clothes were very cheaper in India? Because there was no import duty which was imposed on them. As a result, the foreign cloth became very cheaper. As a result, many of the people in India could purchase that particular cloth. As a result, the Britishers were able to generate a lot of profit from that. And abolition of tax on salt. Salt tax should be abolished. Okay. Salt was such a commodity which was used by rich and poor equally. So it is the natural right of man to use the salt without paying any type of tax. And taking tax on such a small commodity is not good. Okay. The tax on salt was increased 1,000 times. So it was very injustice by the Britishers that they were taking the tax 1,000 times more on such a commodity which was used by every individual in the planet Earth. Okay. The common man found it difficult to meet the demand of the salt tax. These demands, wide ranging to all sections of society, came unitedly in the campaign. Gandhiji later had stated that if these demands were ignored, Gandhiji had declared, Gandhiji had sent a challenge to the Britishers that if they would reject these demands, then Gandhiji would launch a civil disobedience movement against this. Irwin was unwilling to negotiate. Irwin didn't want to negotiate with Mahatma Gandhi. Started his famous salt march accompanied by 78 of his trusted volunteers on 12th March 1930. So when the proposal of Mahatma Gandhi was rejected by Lord Irwin, Mahatma Gandhi was forced to launch a civil disobedience movement on 12th March 1930 with his 78 volunteers, starting from Sabarmati Ashram in Ahmedabad to Dandi, a village which was on the coast of Gujarat. Okay, and he walked for several days. Okay. Here it is worth mentioning that their sole purpose was to break the salt law that had prevented the Indians from making salt from sea water. Thousands of people came to hear Gandhiji wherever he stopped and told them that he meant by Swaraj and Azhar. So it was a symbol of Swaraj. Using salt is your right. If you are living in India, every Indian has the right to use salt without paying any tax. So it was a symbol of Swaraj. He wanted to declare to the Britishers that they are free and they can use salt anytime without paying any tax. They wanted to oppose the law of the Britishers. They want to challenge the Britishers. Okay. So when he reached on 6th April, he reached Dandi and violated the law manufacturing salt by boiling seawater. Seawater was boiled by Gandhiji and he manufactured salt. The civil disobedience movement 1930. What happened after that? The civil disobedience movement didn't started with the Gandhiji's salt march. The civil disobedience movement really started from when Gandhiji was arrested. When Gandhiji broke the salt law, then he was arrested with his volunteers. After that, civil disobedience movement started. Because the salt march was launched by Mahatma Gandhi on individual basis. Only he took the 78 volunteers of his ashram. Nobody from India was forced to join the movement. But the Indians had a faith in Gandhiji and they wanted to support Gandhiji. So after the Gandhiji was arrested when he was violating the salt law, when he was arrested, then after the movement started. And then that movement was called the civil disobedience movement. People manufactured salt and demonstrated in the front of the government salt factories. अब गांधी जी ने जैसे सॉल्ट लॉ तोड़ा वैसे लोग भी तोड़ना स्टार्ट कर दिया और सॉल्ट फैक्ट्रीज के सामने जानबूझकर चिढ़ाने के लिए उन्हीं के सामने सॉल्ट बनाते थे. As the movement spread, foreign cloth was boycotted. अब foreign cloth भी boycott होने लगे and liquor shops were picketed. liquor shops भी छोड़ने लगे लोग. Peasants refused to give revenue and चौकीदारी tax. Peasants ने revenue देना मत कर दिया, चौकीदारी tax देना मत कर दिया. Students ने government schools छोड़ दिए, lawyers ने अपने practice छोड़ दी. ठीक. Forest laws, villagers forest laws नहीं मानते थे. ठीक. Wood collect करने लगे, protected forest, reserve forest में से. Worried by this developments, the colonial government started arresting Congress leaders one by one. तो जो ब्रिटिशर्स थे वो ये जानते थे कि ये सारी चीजें कौन करवा रहा है, कांग्रेस लीडर्स करवा रहा है. तो जरूरी है कि कांग्रेस लीडर्स को अरेस्ट कर लिया जाए ताकि एक तरीके से मॉरल इफेक्ट प्रोड्यूस किया जाए इंडियंस के अंदर, ताकि वो ये मूवमेंट को बंद कर दें. ठीक. तो ब्रिटिशर्स ने अपनी ऑपरेसिव पॉलिसीज अपनाई और उन्होंने तुरंत कांग्रेस के जो बड़े बड़े लीडर्स थे उनको एक एक करके अरेस्ट करना स्टार्ट कर दिया. द अरेस्ट ऑफ द कांग्रेस लीडर्स in northwest frontier province led to mass demonstration in Peshawar. अब जैसे ही कांग्रेस लीडर्स को अरेस्ट किया गया तो पेशावर में मूवमेंट लॉन्च हो गया. पेशावर आप लोगों को मालूम है पाकिस्तान में था, पेशावर इंडिया में था. पेशावर में मूवमेंट लॉन्च किया किसने? खान अब्दुल गफ्फार खान. खान अब्दुल गफ्फार खान. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan was a Pathan of Peshawar and he was known as Frontier Gandhi. इनको क्या बोला जाता था? फ्रंटियर सीमांत गांधी नहीं कहते या बादशाह खान नहीं कहना, बच्चे खान, बहुत सारे नाम थे. ठीक है. और बिल्कुल गांधी जी की जैसी चरित्र इनका भी था. बिल्कुल शांत स्वभाव के थे, नॉन वायलेंट मूवमेंट करते थे. ठीक है. इसलिए इनको क्या नाम दे दिया गया था? फ्रंटियर गांधी. उस एरिया को, पेशावर के एरिया को नॉर्थ वेस्ट फ्रंटियर प्रोविंस कहा जाता है. ठीक है. इस वजह से क्योंकि वो इस एरिया से बिलोंग करते थे इसलिए इनका नाम सीमांत गांधी कर दिया, क्योंकि वहां पे इंडिया की ऑलमोस्ट जो बाउंड्री वो फिनिश हो जाती है. 1947 से पहले वाले इंडिया की, अभी के इंडिया की नहीं. जब पाकिस्तान इंडिया का हिस्सा हुआ करता था तो जो इंडिया बिल्कुल पाकिस्तान की जो आज का पाकिस्तान है या तब का इंडिया की जो लास्ट वहाँ पे अफगानिस्तान से जुड़ती थी, वहाँ पे पठान बहुत रहते हैं. क्योंकि अफगानिस्तान पर आपको मालूम है बहुत पठान रहते हैं. तो अफगानिस्तान से जुड़ी जो सीमा है वहाँ पे भी सब बहुत सारे पठान रहते थे. तो उन्हीं में से पठान थे खान अब्दुल गफ्फार खान. ठीक. तो बिल्कुल क्योंकि सीमा के पास रहते थे इसलिए इनको सीमांत गांधी का, जहाँ सीमा अंत होती थी भारत की पहले की सीमा, आज़ादी से पहले की सीमा जहाँ अंत होती थी वहाँ से निवासी थे, इसलिए इनको फ्रंटियर गांधी कहा जाता है. तो इन्होंने मूवमेंट लॉन्च किया पेशावर में और इनको भी अरेस्ट कर लिया गया. ठीक है. सो सून आफ्टर दिस इंसिडेंट महात्मा गांधी वाज आल्सो अरेस्टेड. देयर अकर्ड अ मैसिव वेव ऑफ प्रोटेस्ट एज गांधीजी's arrest in शोलापुर महाराष्ट्र. द टेक्सटाइल वर्कर्स हु डोमिनेटेड द टाउन वेंट ऑन हड़ताल. अब गांधी जी को बहुत लोग मानते थे, महाराष्ट्र के जो वर्कर्स थे पूरी तरीके से हड़ताल में चले गए. बर्न लिकर शॉप्स, रेलवे स्टेशन, लॉ कोर्ट्स, पुलिस स्टेशंस एंड म्युनिसिपल बिल्डिंग्स. ऑल द गवर्नमेंट बिल्डिंग्स वर अपोज्ड. दे वर नॉट. The government adopted a policy of repression. तो जब गवर्नमेंट इफेक्ट होने लगेगी तो गवर्नमेंट जाहिर सी बात है रिप्रेशन पॉलिसी अपनाएगी. पीसफुल सत्याग्रहीज वर अटैक्ड एंड अबाउट 10,000 people were arrested. Okay. In such a situation, Mahatma Gandhi again decided to call off the movement. Rest of the topics class we will discuss in the next video. Thank you.